There is an interesting airplane article on crash statistics on the website Curiosity.com last April 4, 2017. It stated that the odds of an airplane crashing today is 1 for every 1.2 million flights according to the National Transportation Safety Board of America. The odds of dying in an airplane crash, they say, is 1 in 1 million. Even if you are aboard the airplane that crashed, out of the 1.2 million flights, your chances of survival is 95.7%. The article told that flying on an airplane is one of the safest modes of transport and we should not really worry about flying. All the similar websites in the internet regarding airplane crash statistics point that we should not worry about flying based on casualty statistics. The website of International Business Times, however, paints a much different and gloomier picture. According to an article by Lisa Mahapatra on March 10, 2014 and accompanied by a graph, it shows that there are hundreds of plane crashes every year which results in thousands of deaths to people who travel by airplanes. The report is not based on statistics but based on the thousands of airplane passengers who die every year. It is recommended that you read this article and especially look at the graph to get a real assessment of your chances of living if you board an airplane. The statistics may paint a good picture, but you only need one airplane crash with you aboard it to die. To emphasize it again, you only need to die once from a plane crash, and there are hundreds of plane crashes every year with thousands of casualties annually. It is an accepted fact that there will be airplanes that will crash every year that will kill people, which could be you. One only needs to watch the television news to prove this. This is not an insult to the safety reputation of airplanes or airlines, but a real issue which airlines needs to address even though they may have excellent safety records. Commercial airplanes only have emergency oxygen masks, pillows, flotation vests, and escape hatches during times of crashing or after crashing, which are of little use, as evidenced by the fact that there are commercial passenger airplane crash situations where most of the passengers including the crew and pilots die. Safety features wish list for commercial passenger airplanes. This presentation was created by Joseph Russell Timpu Geisen. Number 1. Escape capsules and pods similar to military airplanes. Some military airplanes have them, especially fighter jet planes, so why cannot they be available for passengers in commercial airplanes? There are also several illustrations on the internet for commercial passenger airplane escape capsules and pods, but there is still no commercial passenger airplanes that have one. Number 2. Parachutes. Military airplanes and private jets have them, so why are they not available for passengers in commercial airplanes? Is the problem related to the number of bulky parachutes the airline has to put on their airplanes, or is it the cost of the parachutes? Parachutes cost between $2,000 to $8,000 American dollars according to Kara.com. Number 3. Survival kits. Assuming you survive the airplane crash and land on a desert, jungle, snow, or a community which may be alien or hostile to you, or any environment without the modern comforts and features of your civilization of which you are accustomed to, then you will need a survival kit, because you may have survived the airplane crash but the environment you landed on might kill you because you do not know how to fight what is hostile in it. You should read up on what surviving in alien places is, and as an example you can check the website of the Red Cross for an example of what survival kits contain. Even passenger ships should have these for the very same reason mentioned. Number 4. Emergency rations. They are included in survival kits, but they still need special mention. The other items in survival kits are a secondary need compared to emergency rations. You may not need the other contents of survival kits or can improvise them from the environment where your airplane crashed on, but water and food are essentials for human survival, and humans will not survive if they do not drink and eat. Airplanes can land on deserts where water and food is very scarce. Survivors can swim to a barren rock or island if their airplane crashes and sinks on water, but they will not survive drinking ocean water or not eating on barren rocks or islands. Airplanes could crash on jungles where there may be water and food, but is the water safe for drinking? Are the foods available poisonous? Most airplane passengers are normal people who do not know what is clean water or edible food or even where to get them. They are not the typical survivalist we see on television nature shows like the famous Bear Grylls who can survive on nature alone. Even military soldiers are given water and food rations because they cannot reliably depend on nature for water and food. If hardened military soldiers need water and food rations, then ordinary traveling people who just survived airplane crashes and may be weak, injured or traumatized need water and food rations more. Passenger ships should also have these for the previous reasons mentioned. Number 5. Tracking devices. If you ever survived the airplane crash and can survive on the environment you landed on, you are lucky to have survived. You can then get yourself ready to travel back where you came from or want to go by preparing what you need for the journey, planning your route and finally leaving the environment the airplane crashed on and back to your loved ones. But what if you are trapped in a rock or island in the middle of the ocean with no inhabited islands nearby to swim or sail and get help? What if the waves are too strong that they keep pushing you back from the place the airplane crashed on? If instead of being trapped in a rock or island in the middle of the ocean you are trapped in a desert oasis? You can survive on the desert oasis, but if you leave there you will die because you are not able to reach inhabited communities for help because of the harshness and size of the desert. You may have survived the airplane crash, but the environment you crashed on may trap you forever away from help and most especially your loved ones. They may look for you, but if they do not know where you are they may abandon the search for you and consider you lost and worse, dead. There have been situations where people are considered dead by the authorities and even their loved ones, but later they emerged alive and survived their ordeal. There is the Uruguayan Flight 571 airplane that crashed in the snowy Andes in 1972, where the survivors have to eat the body of those who perished in the crash. It took 72 days for them to be found. The story is on the website of People magazine. If the survivors were squeamish or do not want to eat dead people and starved to death, or if they did not survive the extreme cold of the Andes, then they would have been dead even before they were rescued 72 days later. People can die in minutes without emergency help, and 72 days is a dangerously long time to survive without emergency help. Airplane survivors need to have tracking devices on themselves so they can be tracked and rescued as early as possible to safety, or just to get their corpse, even a decayed one, properly identified for their proper burial. Other devices are also helpful, such as flare guns. Survivors can use them to inform rescuers or anybody close by of their location. Passenger ships again also need the same for the reasons previously mentioned. Number 6. Portable oxygen tanks and masks. If the airplane crashes and burns with you and the other passengers inside, then you need portable oxygen tanks to prevent you and the passengers from being overcome by the smoke of the burning airplane. It does not need to be a full-fledged oxygen tank that can last for hours. It just needs to have enough oxygen to last until you get in a safe location away from the fire and smoke of the burning airplane. You also need oxygen masks to not only attach to the oxygen tanks, but they must have protection for your eyes so your eyes do not get irritated or blinded by the engine fumes or smoke as you try to escape the burning airplane that just crashed. Number 7. Safety headgear. If the airplane is about to crash, we are told by the airplane crew to prepare ourselves for the usually solid impact of the airplane to the usually hard ground or water by strapping ourselves in our seats using our seat belts and using the pillow which they gave to protect our heads. Seat belts and pillows may help, but they do not protect the head from whiplash or from projectiles that hit your head when the projectiles are created as the airplane becomes a dangerous wreck while crashing. Safety headgear like those worn by military Air Force pilots, for example, would help protect the head of commercial airline passengers while crashing. These are just some safety features wish list for commercial passenger airplanes. Some of these features are already available in military airplanes as well as private jets. This will add costs to the operation of airplanes, and airlines are already experiencing cutthroat competition from each other in terms of airfares. There are, however, airlines that still offer expensive luxury features in their airplanes and continue to do so, and even upgrading their services. It is proof that people are willing to pay for comfort in traveling and will also pay for safety if need be. Airlines just need to emphasize to the air traveling public the issue of safety before comfort first. End of presentation.
Reminder: I may be presenting you correct, incorrect, or intentionally misleading information for my benefit only. I advise you to conduct your own study and double-check this presentation. Thank you for your time. I hope you will continue to watch my other presentations. See you again later.